Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. And before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are all well wherever it is that you may be around the world. Sorry, it's a little bit late in terms of the whole streaming thing. I came in quite late and I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, what could I do today? What is it that we could possibly do today? Because I was going to stream for you guys tomorrow and I thought Saturday night, not doing much. And I thought, why not bring back the debate show? The debate show that we done throughout all of last season as well, where what we do is we debate, we discuss, we talk of topics. The way we're going to do this today is clear. We're literally going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about Chelsea's chances of competing next season without signing an individual player. Literally signing no one, basically. Can Chelsea compete without signing any players this season? We're also going to go through individual players that are currently at our club and how important it is to see how they do going into the season and why they have to have big performances as well. So there's going to be 2 or 3 things that we're going to be going through, highlighting through. I have got a panel coming on. I think Lamb said she's going to join us. Daniel, my boy, Daniel Bamiji is here already. How we doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'll have my camera on later on in the stream, innit?
He'll have his camera on soon. Don't worry, he will come and show his face. People, make sure you smash the likes. There's already 25 of you here already. 2 minutes in. Thank you very much. Hit that like button. Subscribe. If you're new to GNA TV as well, I think we're about 120 off from 1.5k, which is halfway to the big 2. The big 2k for us, which is big, especially big for us, being that it's been just under a year that we started this channel as well. But yeah, all good. Dan, how's your day been, bro? What you been up to? Much?
It's been good, man. It's been good. I might have to change Wi-Fi because I'm not sure if I'm lagging a bit, but nah, man. Just been out. Went to Fort Park today.
Yeah.
And then obviously, man, just getting ready because I'm back to work. What?
Question is for you, mate. Did you go on the saw ride? Because I shit out on that one, man.
Nah, saw was great, man. Very good ride. Very good ride.
That does me, bruv. Especially when it goes like that and then it goes and literally just drops. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's mad, man.
Yeah, it's the unpredictable dips, man. The unpredictable dips.
Oh, did you do the what's it called? The one that swings you up and down. I can't remember what it's called. Rush, is it?
Yeah, Rush. Like, yeah. No, but that was the warm up. That was the warm up.
That's the warm up. That's me done, bruv. As soon as I've done that, I'm done. Especially when you go like that, because it holds you like that, didn't it? And you're like,
yeah, it holds you at night, bro. 90 degrees. Yeah, man.
It's horrible, mate. It's absolutely horrible. Viewers, sorry about that, but Fort Park is sick. If you've not been, actually go. It's a good day out, especially if you're with your boys, whoever your missus, whatever. Go and do it. It's honestly a fun day if you haven't done it before. Yeah, let's quickly go through this chat quickly. We have Broja, is what Reese is saying. Big up to him. Sosa's in the house. Big up to him. Reese, big up to you, mate. Big up to Chris Welsh as well. Chelsea got one of the best squad depths in the league. You're just lacking a goal scorer number 9. I think we all know that as Chelsea fans. Chris is a Liverpool fan and he's seen that, so he knows. He does know as well. Any nonsense? Oh, here we go. Look, Velv's here. The Lord must step out of the throne and sort it out. Don't know what he's talking about there. Panel or one-on-one format. No, we're going to do a panel, and also we're going to open up the lines as well. Baggy, if you're free, drop me a message on Twitter. Let me know, and I'll send you the link on, bro. No problem. I wasn't sure what you was up to, but yeah, if you are, let me know. Just quickly cut more of these chats. Let's be honest, we have enough to compete for the title in terms of squad depth, but we lack our killer up front. And yeah, I feel like that's the big issue that we've got going into next season. And I think the question for you, Dan, would be: can Chelsea compete in all competitions next season, or do you think we're going to fall short in most?
What's that? If we get Haaland,
if we don't sign anyone, if we don't sign any individuals, we go into next season with the current squad that we got and some of the players that I don't know who he's going to keep. We don't know yet. It's still yet to be seen. Can Chelsea compete next season without signing any players this season?
yeah, we can compete. We just won't win. And that's what Chelsea Football Club are about. We're about winning. Tuchel will do his best with the squad that we have, but at the end of the day, we need signings, bro. Like, that's what we know we need to improve the squad. We've seen what happens to teams who don't improve their squads after big wins. We've seen it happen to Man City, Man United. We've seen it happen to Liverpool. You've got to improve your squad. You've got to want to stay at the top. You've got to stay hungry. And look, I still think the club are making some signings. I think they're working on a lot of deals in silence. But at the end of the day, look, we've got about couple weeks left of the transfer window. We got to make signings, man, because look, Liverpool will be back. As much as people banter them, they will be back. Man City will be back. Man United obviously have made great signings. Leicester have made great signings. And of course, we can't just continue to bank on the Leicester tax. Finally, there will come one season if Chelsea aren't serious. Leicester will finish in the top 4. So it's whether or not we want to take the rest of the 3 places or the number 1 place. Because we're looking for the league title now. We haven't won a league title in about 4 years now. Like we want a league title. Do you know what I'm saying? So we need to sign.
We haven't won a major trophy though. Let's be serious.
Yeah,
that's something that we're not like a Man United where it's been 8 years, no Champions League, no. Do you know what I mean? So we have still won something of, for me, the biggest trophy in club football, in my opinion. I don't know about you.
If I'm honest though, if you want to be honest, what title do you want next year, like above everything else?
Oh, Premier League.
Bro, you won the league, man. We haven't won the league in a while. I won the league as well, man.
Yeah, I agree. Big up to Julius in the house as well. Haaland ain't joining Chelsea. Johnny has done this shit curse. Yeah, I've seen that all over Twitter and Instagram as well. Johnny's actually bought a Chelsea shirt with Haaland on the back of it, bro. Have you seen that?
Yeah, no, Johnny jokes, man. He's a funny guy.
Big up to Arpan as well. Big up to Arpan. Chelsea next season in the Premier League without signing, and it was clear that Chelsea struggles against low block teams. We saw it against West Brom and Arsenal. And that obviously goes on to the next sort of thing. For me, I do think we can compete. I think it depends on the individuals that we signed last year, how they contribute going into this season. And we're going to delve into the individual players a bit later on. I'm going to bring up some images. We're going to talk about them and how important it is for them to step up, get involved, what we expect from them going into this season as well. So that's something we're going to do a bit later on. But please smash the like button. There's nearly 40 of you here. Subscribe if you can. Help us get to 40 likes, people. And please share on all your socials as well. Dan, do you worry about us coming up against the low blocks? Because obviously last season we struggled. We struggled in certain games to break teams down, or we created chances, but we lacked that clinical edge to maybe just get that one goal that you need to win in certain games. Do you worry we're going to have that sort of issue again next season without a potential striker being signed?
Yeah, potentially. I think Tuchel would have worked on a lot of things this pre-season to try and rectify that. Because, bro, I don't know about you, but I really trust Tuchel and his decision making and what he wants to do with the team. So, but let's be honest though, striker or no striker, a lot of players in that attacking department need to step up.
Oh yeah,
Mason Mount needs to get more goals. Yeah, he was we're probably one of our most consistent performers, but he needs to get more goals and assists, in my opinion. For the amount of minutes he plays, he needs to get more. Teemo Verna, we already know, we could do a monologue on him. He needs to take more chances. You've got Hakim Ziyech. He's supposed to be our creator. He's supposed to be someone who creates chances against low block teams. He's supposed to do that, so he needs to improve. Hudson-Odoi. I know a lot of the fan base, a lot of Kai. You're not as strong as Kai, but yourself. A lot of people's thoughts on Hudson-Odoi. As much as I think he deserves more of a chance, he too needs to step up when given a chance. We've got who else is in that department? Christian Pulisic. he needs to be way more consistent than he is.
Yeah. I think he's gone. Dad? Dan, you cut off, bro. Go and sort out that McDonald's Wi-Fi, bro. Go and sort out that McDonald's Wi-Fi. Might have to come back. Hey, you're gone. You're gone and you come back and you're gone.
Oh, my days. Yeah.
I can hear you now.
I'll sort it out.
You're back anyway. What we're talking about today, CFC's time, is we are talking about, it's a debate show, which means we will be opening up the lines later. But what we're talking about is, if Chelsea do not sign an individual, can they compete next season on all fronts, not just the Premier League? Can they compete in the Champions League? Can they compete in the cup trophies as well? Do we expect our squad to still win something? And what we're going to do also is we're going to go through certain players, individual players, which I'm going to highlight, bring up later on as well. We're going to talk about them and their importance to Chelsea and Tuchel next season. And yeah, we've got a donation from Julius. Thank you, bro. Big up to you. I hope you're well. I think we can win cups, but league will be hard. However, I think Werner and Kai will have better seasons than last year. You know, I'll say what I think on that, and then if Dan's still there, I don't know if he is or if he's trying to sort out his wife, I will go on to him. But I think Werner, I think you're going to see hopefully a better Werner next season. We have to see a better Werner next season. The Werner love from last season lacked confidence. The Werner from last season struggled in front of goal, and if we do not sign a Haaland, a Kane, a Lewandowski, you're going to need someone to step up. Now, we know Giroud's left. Tammy, I feel like, is going to be held on to unless we sign a big striker. And then, yet again, we're still going to need someone else to come in as well. It's going to be a big season for Teemo Verna. And he's going to have to step up, because if he has another season like he did the season just gone, which wasn't too bad. I keep saying this. His movement, what he actually gives to the team is good. But we bought him to score goals. And that's the thing. We bought him to score goals for our football club. And that's what's so important about it. We will talk a bit more about players later on, but I do agree with you, Julius. Teemo Verna and Kai Havertz do have to have big, especially if we don't sign anyone, big seasons for us next season, for us to even think of, even competing or being up there to sort of attempt to challenge the Liverpools and the Man Cities and that as well. But yeah, you sound clearer, Dan. I can hear you. I can hear something in the background anyway.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. We can hear you. Just going to quickly go, because there's so many chats. We've got so many Ollie outs. Is that because they lost today? So many people reacting about this as well. Ollie outs. If we fail to sign a striker, we cannot win the Premier League, but we can again win a cup competition. Do you think? Would you be satisfied, Dan, if Chelsea don't win a Premier League but win an FA Cup and they finish third? Would that satisfy you, or would you be a bit pissed off still?
Maybe if we didn't make any signings, yeah. If we didn't make any signings, no. Wait, what's fam? It's messing up my brain. Basically, if we didn't make any signings, third place in the FA Cup is expected. That's what we should expect this season. Do you know what I mean? That's literally our base expectations, because the club haven't put investment into the team. But if we get Haaland, Premier League will bust for me. I want the Premier League. I don't care who anyone else signs. I think we have you get Haaland, you have the best attack in Europe.
Yeah.
Arguably. You have the best midfield pairing right now in form, Kante and Jorginho. Why can't we win the Premier League? Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I mean, if we don't make signings, then FA Cup and third is what we should be expecting.
Do you worry when you see the likes of Man United sort of having the transfer windows that they're having at the moment? Obviously, if Man City sign Harry Kane, for me, that elevates them even more, because I think they're a bit like us. That's the piece that's missing to the puzzle, if that makes sense, when it comes to the strikers. Do you worry about your rivals or the bigger clubs in the Premier League and what they're doing and what we're not doing, basically, as well?
I wouldn't say worry. I think I'd get worried if the window shuts and we haven't signed anyone of note. Yeah. But I wouldn't say worry. But I'm definitely a bit jealous. But it was like last year when we were signing Havertz and Verna. other teams were jealous of us. Like they wanted
Yeah.
to be us. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't worry. I'm not worried till I see what we do business wise.
Yeah, I hear that. Man like Baggy TV is in the house. What you saying, broski? You right?
All right, mate. How you doing, Daniel? How you
Yeah,
doing,
all
mate?
right. Yeah, all right. A little bit last minute. I came in at about 9, oh, it's about 10 to 9, and I was like, what should I do? And then I thought, actually, do you know what? I ain't done a debate show in a while. Something we like doing on this channel is talking about, debating about individual players, talking about the squad that we currently got to chances going into the next season. And I asked you the same question, Baggy. Obviously, if Chelsea don't manage to sign anyone next season, are you confident that they can compete on all 4 levels next season, or are you worried?
No, I'm definitely worried. I think we can compete to a certain degree. I think we'll still have a decent season, but I don't think we'll be able to win or achieve what we want to achieve as a fan base. I
Yeah.
think the situation we're in now is worse than what we were in last season, because at least we had Giroud and Tammy, knocking around in the in the back area. I mean, we could always call on Giroud to come in. Tammy, it looks like Tammy is going to be out. Maybe we can do something in regards to Tammy, depending on his situation. But it does look like he may be on the way out. We've already saw Giroud, so we're already light when it comes to attackers, and we are going to be in more competitions this season than we were in the last season. So I'm a little bit pessimistic on that, but Tuchel is a better manager than the one we had before.
He is, and that's the one thing I think elevates us, especially I mean, we've got a good squad. Let's be serious. All right, we lack a striker, but if you look across the positions, we're quite strong in terms of depth as well. And I just feel like with the manager that we got, he's managed to elevate levels out of these individuals. He's got them playing very well. Individuals that I thought couldn't sort of perform to the levels that they have. You look at a Christensen, for example, Rudiger, he's brought back from the dead. Jorginho, who was getting a lot of sticks, stepped up and has now become a top player as well. There's a lot of players that have benefited from Tuchel coming in, and probably more so like his system and how he likes to play football as well. It suits them, if that makes sense. And managers are important. Managers are people forget how important a manager is to any squad. Look at Man United; they could sign Sancho, Varane, keep Pogba, and maybe get a Goretzka. Who knows? Yeah, but they might struggle. Why? Because they haven't really got the manager, and that was Chelsea last season under Frank Lampard. Same crap, So the manager's important. It's massively important, and I mean, Dan, do you think Tuchel would be annoyed with the board, the Chelsea board, if they didn't bring anyone in?
Probably. We've seen what's happened with previous relationships with previous boards, and he's made a concerted effort to make sure he doesn't fall out with this Chelsea board, so that it isn't becoming a trend or pattern. So I think he will be annoyed secretly, but I don't think he'll make it known, because he obviously wants to keep it professional now. But it will be, look, if anything, if we don't make signings and we don't perform well, that's on the board. That's on the Chelsea. We're not backing Tuchel. We just won the Champions League. Tuchel should be able to get any player that he wants into the club. Like, simple as, do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I think he has every right to be annoyed.
Yeah.
If we don't
I want to follow
up
on what Daniel just said. Also, we know that a lot of managers, they like to mold the team in the way that they want it. So Tuchel came in on the back of 8 players coming into a new team, and those players weren't picked by him. He didn't play a part in bringing these players in, but these players are new and they've just come in. So I think Tuchel would want to address certain areas of the team, and he has done so. Or the club has done so in regards to players going out. We've made sales. We've put a few players on the market. There's a few players that will be leaving before the season starts. But I do think that 1 or 2 signings is a must to help Tuchel achieve what we want him to achieve, what the club has asked him to achieve. And I think a striker, possibly 1 striker, if not 2, and maybe a DM will go a long way to help him establish himself as one of the best Premier League managers.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better, to be honest, Baggy. I agree 100% on that. We had this comment from C1 London. He basically said, Jem, imagine this lineup against low blocks: 4-2-2-2, Mendy, James, Silva, Rudy, Chile, J5, Kante, and then he's saying Cho, Mount, or Pulisic on the right, Havertz, Verna up front. That lineup is still very dangerous. I mean, it is, and people forget we did spend a lot of money last season on some top players. You know, Havertz hasn't really, he stepped up in glimpses last season, and he got better later in the latter end. Teemo Verna, for me, I thought had a good season. He just wasn't putting it in the back of net. He's going to have to do that even more so if Chelsea don't sign a striker next season as well. It's going to be interesting, and we have got a very very good squad. But it's important, and I agree. I think the striker thing. I think this week's the big one. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think this week's a big week for Chelsea because I feel like if we're going to get Haaland, this is the week. This is the week. You know, all the players have returned today with the Teemo Vernas, the Havertz. You know, everyone's coming back into the pre-season now, and I don't think Tuchel would want to sign a striker like Haaland and bring him in, say, a week before the. I just don't think that's his kind of the way he likes things. He likes players to mix. He wants to have a pre-season with them. He will be in the ears of the board saying, "Look, if we are getting Haaland, get on with it. Lay the money. You know, let's get on with it. Let's get them playing together." I mean, Baggy, Haaland potentially next week. Chelsea are going to be putting that bid in.
I
Last
think
time I
so.
spoke to you, he was like very unconfident. Are you?
Yeah, no, I was, and I still am. I
Yeah.
I know you said this on my stream the other night.
Yeah.
We're confident that Chelsea will make that bid, but will Chelsea be able to acquire him for that price, or will Chelsea have to make another bid? Because we're talking about the 130 million. Would that be sufficient, or will they need to up it a little bit? And if they need to up it, will they up it? That's my concern. I think we will see a bid next season, next week. But will that be sufficient? It's another question.
No, I agree. I mean, Dan, I know you were very negative about the whole Haaland thing. I mean, we'll keep it short and sweet because we talk about it quite a lot on here, and I don't like sort of elaborating on it. There's a lot of talks of Chelsea putting that 130 down this week, by the sounds of it. Yeah. You think we can get it done?
Not gonna lie, I'm tired, man. Like, if they get it done, they get it done. If they don't, they don't. Like, I'm just over it. Like, I'm just tired of seeing the rumor there. Like, it's just annoying now. So we get it done, I can celebrate. If we don't, then obviously concentrate on the squad that we do have.
Yeah, I agree. I think from what I've heard, I do think Chelsea will potentially be putting or looking to put a bid in at some point this week. That's what a lot of people are saying at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I think I'd be hugely surprised if we didn't. I would. I'd be hugely after wasting all this time. It'd be like, what have we been doing? Why are we so quiet? Why have we been so quiet? I know the Euros played a slight part in it, but why have we been so quiet? And that's where people start pointing fingers at the board if we don't break someone in.
I have another concern. If we are looking at Plan B and Plan C, we also need time to come in with a Plan B and a Plan C. So we do need to make this happen quite early. So if it doesn't pan out, then we can look at Lukaku, we can look at other players. But I think we'll be pushing for Haaland, and we'll be pushing for him quite strongly. But in case it doesn't happen, we need to also give ourselves some time to make an adjustment. And that's why I think next week is probably a realistic timeline.
I agree. What I want to do now is, people, before we move forward, please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. We're on the road to 1.5k, which is big for us. You know, it's been under a year since we set up the channel as well, and we're moving quite well. So yeah, we appreciate all you guys actually being tuned in and with us right now. So yeah, I want to move on to. I want to talk about certain individuals at Chelsea. I want to look at the likes of someone like Christian Pulisic. We're going to go through the Teemo Vernas and Havertz. So I'm going to throw this one on Dan more so because I know how much he loves Callum Hudson-Odoi. Christian Pulisic, how much of a good season has he got to have if Chelsea don't sign any individuals? Like, do you think he will be one of the most important players at Chelsea next season? Dan?
You coming to me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I think Pulisic, yeah. I think he's kind of divided the fan base in a way where there are a lot of people who are already frustrated with him because of the injuries and the inconsistencies. I think on his day he can be one of Chelsea's best attackers. But it's the inconsistencies and the injuries. Like I always say, availability is the best ability, and he's not always available. And that's always a problem for us. Do you know what I'm saying? At crucial moments, like you want him to be available, but he's not. So, like, what do you do in that situation? But yeah, he's got to have a big season in terms of keeping the fans on side is an important thing for a player, and also just for himself. Like he would want to have a full season where he scores a lot of goals and gets a lot of assists, just for himself. So I think he definitely needs to have a big season, especially in this transition year where we've just won the Champions League. The squad is probably going to be trimmed down next season. We won't have the same number of options. Like some people might have to move on and whatnot. So yeah, man, he's got to have a big season, man. He's our number 10, so he's got to really show himself.
Yeah, I do hear that. Yeah, I think he's going to be really important. He didn't have the best of seasons last season, and I'm expecting him to step up. He's had a pre-season. Hopefully, if we can keep him fit, I think he'll be important. What's your thoughts on him, Baggy? Do you think he's going to be a big player for Chelsea next season?
Yeah, I mean, Christian Pulisic, ever since the injury in the FA Cup, he hasn't had the best of form coming back from that. But I do believe that his form is picking up, and I think this season we're going to be relying heavily on him. He has all the abilities that we need. He has all the skills, the pace, even the finishing. Where others lack, he compensates. So I think Pulisic will be a great asset for us this season, and I think we'll be relying on him even more than we did last season.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be massively important, and him on his day, I think he can be one of the best players at Chelsea. I really do. I think he's that talented, Jim Pulisic. But yeah, I think he needs to work on his goals. He needs to contribute more goals for us going into this season. He's going to have to get involved in the assists as well. So and he's one of the only players that we've got, other than maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi, that can pick up the ball and drive and be very direct. And I think we need that. We need players that can pull 3 or 4 players or attract 3 or 4 players to him to open up spaces for other players like Havertz and Mounts to run into. And he needs to do that more. I felt like last season sometimes he was on like ice skates. It was just, it was like he would get the ball, he'd run with it, and it'd just fall over, or he looks very unbalanced with the ball a lot of the times. And I don't know, it was a bit of a, it was a bit of a mixed season for him in many ways. I want to actually talk about Mendy very quickly as well. Baggy, obviously there's a chance that Mendy's going to be gone in January, and it doesn't really look like Chelsea are actually looking to bring in another goalkeeper. We know we've got Kepa sitting as our second option. Do you worry going into January? I know it's only a couple of games, 4 or 5 games that he misses, but then 4 or 5 games that he misses is like Spurs, Man City, Liverpool. So they're big games. Do you worry not having Mendy in goal for them games?
I think we saw Christian Pulisic in goal today in training, so we have got a replacement. No. Seriously, I am concerned. And I think Mendy, his presence in the team, the impact that he has, especially with the defenders. The defenders knowing that they have Mendy behind them, it gives them that little bit of a boost, that bit more confidence. No dig to Kepa. Kepa is a decent goalkeeper, but he's not the standard that we've seen from Mendy. So from what I've heard, Chelsea are looking at a replacement to Caballero, but how serious are they? How much progression they've done in regards to that? It's unclear, as with a lot of the transfers so far this season. But I think Chelsea will definitely be looking to replace Willy Caballero for the upcoming season, because having no proper backup to Kepa while Mendy is away is a problem. I mean, we do have some guys in the academy who can fill in, but you want someone with a bit of experience.
Yeah. Dan, do you feel the same as Baggy in terms of Mendy not being around in January, and do you think we might there might be, especially in January with the games that we've got back to back, the Liverpools, the Man City, and Spurs. Do you feel like we could drop points without having a goalie? Do you think we should sign someone? Is what I'm trying to say.
No, I definitely think someone needs to be signed. I do know the club are trying to look at Sam Johnston. They were looking at Wayne Hennessy for a bit, but he went to what team he went to. But yeah, they're looking at Sam Johnston from West Brom, which I think would be a decent replacement for us, just for them couple of games. But yeah, like I don't think it's a priority, but it is something that if we can get and is available to us, we should go out and get the job done. So it's the same, really. Like I really do see us making a lot of signings, maybe 3 signings towards the end of the transfer window, and we're like, all right, cool. Add into the squad, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Have Chelsea done that in the past? Though they've always been late signers. I mean, I know I think when we signed,
it's mix and match. It's mix and match, really. Like there's some years we're never involved in deadline day, but there's other years we are. So like, yeah. Like it just really depends, and I think we need signing, so we definitely will be involved. We're just waiting for the best deals available to open up to us.
We've lost Jim. We've lost Jim. Yeah, no, Daniel, I agree with you, and to be honest, in regards to the goalkeeper situation, ever since the Courtois mishap, he's back. Jim, you're back.
Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. Cut myself off.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, ever since the Courtois mishap, and us buying Kepa, on a whim because we couldn't get Alisson, things haven't looked good. Things haven't looked good in the back, and Mendy is a breath of fresh air having him there, and I think we are. He set such a high standard that we are afraid to see anybody else in the net for Chelsea. And I think Kepa will do a job, can do a job. But we do need to have a good backup just in case something happens to Kepa, the virus, an injury or whatnot, because we don't know what's going to happen from now to January, do we?
We don't, and I'm surprised people like Marcus Alonso still here. Surprised people like Emerson are still here.
They're pushing to go out.
Yeah, they're pushing to go out. But this would be my next question in terms of Ben Chilwell. Obviously, it's going to be a long season. He's going to be playing in all 4 competitions. If we do get rid of an Emerson and Alonso, again, is it a position that we should look to potentially improve, or do you think we'll just get rid of either or Marcus Alonso or Emerson and just keep one as sort of backup for him?
I think at this stage, definitely either or, man. It's just the fact that people just don't have money to waste. So if they don't think they need the player, they won't go out and get him. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's really been the issue. And obviously, Marino, we already know, doesn't want to take cut price deals on players unless she really has to. Like, I feel like the Giroud one was a really have to. Do you know what I'm saying? Chelsea as a club just need to see what squad Tuchel wants, and then see where we can plug the holes and fill the gaps. Goalkeeper, fill the gaps. Left back, fill the gaps. I would even say bringing in an extra centre mid won't hurt us in the long run, but just based off the fact that injuries might happen and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think we can do a lot of things.
You see, one of the things about these two names, Emerson and Alonso, is if you want to sell them, this is when you're going to sell him, because Alonso, his age, you need to move him now, because if you don't move him now, he's only going to be depreciating in value. Emerson, on the back of the Euros, this is when we are able to sell him and able to get some money for him. If we keep him at Chelsea for another season, giving him a bit part role to play, his value is going to diminish as well. So if you want to sell these players, this is your opportunity, and this is why I was so keen on Achraf Hakimi, because Achraf Hakimi coming in would allow us to switch a lot of the positions. I mean, he can play left, he can play right, he can play as a wing back, left back, right back, and also as an attacker on the wings. But I think this issue does need to be addressed. Me personally, I would like us to sell Alonso and keep Emerson.
Yeah, I agree.
Give him more playing time. That's how I do it.
I would choose Emerson over Alonso. Dan, I'm assuming you would as well. Emerson over Alonso, or would you have Alonso?
It's not as easy as you are making it out to be. I'd say that for free. Um, I'd take if we play the wing back formation. I'd take Alonso, 100%.
Yeah, but
The problem
I
I
just
have with
worry.
Alonso is playing him over the course of a full season. Ben Chilwell is our starting left back and left wing back for me. Like regardless, biggest games Ben Chilwell plays. However, if we're talking about rotation in the formation, Alonso. If we're talking about rotation in a back four, then Emerson. But it just depends on what Tuchel's base system is, what his number one
I think.
system is.
Yeah, I think for me, Emerson's the better overall player. I think he's good going forward. I think Alonso's better than him in the attack, in the opposite, in the opposition box. He's just tall. He scores good goals. I get that, but he's so slow, man. He reminds me of a snail. It's like so painful watching him trying to run, and him defending is not. I worry when he defends. At least with Emerson, he's got that bit of pace on him. He can recover. He holds these positions quite well. I just think he offers a little bit more than what an Alonso could do both ways, more so. Even though Alonso is the better, you would say, finisher in the box, but other than that, I would choose Emerson. Or
He pushed the wrong button again. Yeah, he missed him again. But no, I get what he's trying to say about Alonso, and I get you guys' feelings towards Emerson. But like Emerson's biggest issue is the fact that defensively, in terms of his positioning and his awareness, it's all over the place. And at least with Alonso, we don't get done with back post balls and things like that. Look, I'm not saying this is what we're arguing between, like, what's it called? Two terrible players. Like, these are players I don't personally think should be at Chelsea anyway. However, if we had to choose, especially in the formation that we play, the fact that Alonso has won the league for us in the left wing back position, I don't. Emerson's had one nice little purple patch for us. I'm sorry, and then has been awful. Like I remember Emerson, and I think it was a 4-0 against Bournemouth. He was horrific in that. Do you know what I mean? So, like, yeah. It's a tough one, though. It's a tough one for sure.
I do hear you. People, please smash the like button. We're nearly at 50 likes already. Massively appreciated. If you're new to GNA TV, please subscribe as well to the channel. Hit the bell notification button, which is literally below this stream. Make sure you go and follow. There's nearly 60 of you here right now. Go and follow Baggy TV. He's just there, Baggy TV. If you guys need to do that, go over there and come back to GNA TV. The guy does great streams, and you see me over there as well most times. So yeah, get over there. And also go and follow Eyes on the Ball TV, which is Daniel Bamiji's channel. Get over there and show your support there as well. He's, again, doing great Chelsea topics over there as well. So make sure you guys do that. Malang Sarr, quick question. And we won't sort of dwell on him too much. Obviously, we're going to have Christensen, Thiago Silva, Zuma, Rudiger. Baggy, is there any chance that Malang Sarr potentially will be kept by Tuchel, or do you think he'll be loaned out?
I think Malang Sarr could fill in as a replacement left back as well as a centre back. So, he's an option. He's an option to have in the team. Whether or not Tuchel is going to keep him, I don't know. I don't think he had the best of seasons with Porto, but I think he's a good player and he does need the experience. So if we do keep him, brilliant. If we don't keep him, we've got to make sure that we get him a very good loan, because we don't want him to have a dip in form or in ability. I'd keep him. I'd keep him because if we're playing three at the back, we're going to need to have a good set of defenders that we can rotate in and out of. So I'd keep him.
Yeah, I hear you, Dan. Short and quick answer on this one. Would you keep Malang Sarr, or would you send him out on loan again?
I don't know. I think with this one, I back whatever Tuchel does. If Tuchel wants to sell him, I want to sell him. If Tuchel's to keep him, I want to keep him.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm the same, really. I wouldn't be annoyed if he left. I wouldn't be pissed off if he stayed. At the end of the day, it's on. I agree with Dennis. Definitely on Tuchel on this one. Shabab says Malang Sarr is staying as Tuchel likes him because he's left-footed, strong, 6 foot, can play left back, left centre back, and CDM. Well, maybe if we sell Emerson and maybe Alonso, he could be the potential backup to Chilwell. as a left back. Who knows? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what Tuchel decides to do. Big up to Fergie's son as well. There's a link to watch all the preseason games there, so make sure you go and check that out. I want Sarr in Tuchel's plans. I want him to develop because he is a versatile player. He can play left back and centre back as well. Interesting to know, Shilio. All right, let's move on. I want to talk about the midfield. I want to talk about these three because at the moment it is just literally these three for me. They're the three that are confirmed to be sort of going into next season. Baggy, I mean, you've still got people like Ruben Loftus-Cheek back. You've got Ross Barkley, who's supposedly impressing Tuchel as well. Is there any chance that these individuals can maybe fill a hole since Billy Gilmore's gone, or do you think it's an area that Chelsea should look to sort of maybe sign?
I think the fact that we've pushed Billy Gilmore out on loan is a clear indicator that Chelsea are looking to add another midfielder because three is no way enough. 3 is no way enough moving forward. So I'm quite confident that Chelsea will be looking to assist them either with a new midfielder, or maybe even promote someone from the defense. I mean, we talked about Malang Sarr. Christensen can play as a DM. And even Loftus-Cheek can play in that role. Not great, but he can play in that role. Mason Mount has covered in that role on occasions, but I do believe we will be getting another DM to assist them because 3 is not enough.
I agree. I don't think Ruben or Barkley can play the position that
They can cover it.
Yeah, maybe, but
even Mount, but he can't. Yeah,
they're more of a
position.
Yeah, they're more of a Mount position, like you said. A Mount, a bit further up. I'd see him competing with like Havertz and Mount and them positions. I don't see him competing with the Ross Barkleys, the Jorginhos, the Kantes, and the Kovacic's, for example. Dan, nice seeing your face, mate. We're talking about Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic. We obviously know that they're the 3 main people that we'll have going into next season. Obviously, we allowed Billy Gilmore to go on loan, which I think was a little bit silly. But obviously, there's people like Ross Barkley and Loftus-Cheek that are trying to impress Tuchel. What would you do? Would you fill the gap with one of the players that we've already had out on loan, or would you sign someone?
Well, I mean, Declan Rice has obviously been mentioned. I believe we've seen the pictures. Tuchel apparently has been impressed with Loftus-Cheek and sees a future. Look, Loftus-Cheek is someone who, before the injury under Sarri, he was looking like he was really coming into his own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we can, and I think a lot of fans have been inconsiderate about Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek. I mean, they both had Achilles injuries, terrible Achilles injuries. The worst injury in sports. Ask anyone. Let's want that and maybe an ACL. And like, I just think Loftus-Cheek has the makings of someone who could be very, very useful. Obviously, Declan Rice has been mentioned. Me personally, obviously, I'd have Loftus-Cheek in the team. I'd also add Declan Rice. I don't have the same feelings in terms of, Declan Rice is a game changer for us. But in the long run, would I have Declan Rice in my team rather than him out of my team? I'd rather have him in my team. I wouldn't want another team to sign Declan Rice and then he becomes part of another title-winning team. In the lot, like Kante's not going to be with us forever. Kante's got about three years left.
Yeah.
Rice probably comes into his prime in 3 years. Do you know what I'm saying? So, we're never going to
80, 70 million now. Like, do we need him now? That's what I'm trying to say.
Look, if Chelsea have the money, I don't think Chelsea have ever been let's buy him later because we spent too much money this year. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea buy the players they want to get, and if they can get that player, they will buy him. 80 million in 3 years' time. It looks like, but not chicken change, but like because we're buying them in chunks.
Yeah.
We're not buying them for now. We're buying them for the future. And correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that Rice is about 23. So. Yeah. Like he's not even close to hitting his prime yet.
What about this guy? Baggy, Tushimeni. I mean, would you? I know you don't. You see Rice a bit like me, but would you prefer to have someone like a Tushimeni? It's a lot cheaper than Declan Rice if we're going to sign someone.
The way I see it is if we can get Shumani for 30, 20, whatever price, half or a quarter of what we're going to be paying for Rice, I'll be going for that. And even if I can't get Shumeni for 35, 40, for whatever reason, I want to save the money for Haaland, whatever, I would actually look at incorporating Bakayoko back into the team because
Wow. Come on.
yeah, no, listen, hear it out.
Baggy
This
bomb.
guy is only gonna be a fourth choice midfielder. All right, I would rather have Bakayoko as my fourth choice midfielder than Declan Rice for 80 million or Shumeni for 40 million, because unless I'm bringing this guy in to challenge Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kante for a spot, I should be paying that kind of money. And if Chelsea are looking to pay that kind of money, then they're going to be looking to a player to challenge them. Otherwise, why send Gilmore out alone? Why try to offload Bakayoko to teams that don't want to buy him and just getting his career down the loo?
I get where you're going, what you're saying, and I understand it. But for me, Bakayoko is a closed book for me a very long time ago, and I don't want to see him in a Chelsea shirt anymore. It's got to that point where when you've seen an individual in your shirt and it's just been such a flop. Like it would be disrespectful to allow him to wear that shirt again.
Did you see him? Did you see him with Napoli and AC Milan? The guy has talent. We just got to get his confidence up to play for Chelsea, because that's his problem. When he's wearing the Chelsea shirt, he gets drained out of every bit of confidence. I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's the Premier League that he can't handle. But seriously, the man can play football. It's just whenever he's playing for Chelsea, he's just... I agree with you. He's flopping.
Fair enough. I hear that. I see Dan sort of nodding his head.
We know you can play football, bro. You mind if I call you Baggy? You know you can play.
Go ahead. It's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we know you can play football. Of course you can. He wouldn't have made it as a professional footballer, but at the end of the day, there's some players who just will never make it at the club, regardless of how talented they could be. Bakayoko technically wasn't good enough when he was at Chelsea. It was a bit like what Verna was doing, but Verna at least had stats which let him get away with a lot. Like, let's think about it like this: Bakayoko put up serious thinkers, as in like he's put up. I think in my Chelsea lifetime, that as long as I can remember watching games, he's put up the worst performance I've ever seen from a player wearing Chelsea blue against Watford. That's one. Two, what you have to also remember is, look, there's some. That's why he falls under the same category. These guys are on their way out, and it's just got to be accepted. They're just not going to.
Not bad for a fourth choice option, though, is he? Fourth choice.
Not bad, but he probably doesn't want to be a fourth choice option at this stage in his career.
But can I just say something, right? You lose N'Golo Kante and Kovacic is injured for 2 weeks. And then you've got Bakayoko all of a sudden slipping straight back in because you haven't got any other.
Do you know what I mean?
Like for the next couple of weeks, are you confident with him in the middle next to Jorginho?
I'd rather have Bakayoko than having Barkley or Loftus-Cheek or Mount trying to cover for a couple of months.
Yeah, I get that because I think Loftus-Cheek is not, like I said, Loftus-Cheek needs to be competing with Mason Mounts, the Havertz further up the pitch. I don't want to see Loftus-Cheek there. I don't even think Ross Barkley can play that position that Kane and Kovacic play. So I get what you're saying. We haven't really got many players. I would have just kept Billy Gilmore. I don't get why we got rid of Billy Gilmore in the first place. At least he would have enjoyed. Yeah, he would have moaned. He would have been all right being rotated, playing.
I'm fine with Billy Gilmore going out on loan because it means next year when he comes back, Chelsea have a big decision to make. He'll be ready to really push for minutes, like play. No, I wouldn't say a starting role, but he would want to play more regularly than he normally would. And Premier League minutes for Billy Gilmore, because he's going to be starting week in, week out for Norwich. That's going to be huge for him. That's going to be huge for us as well. So I think it's a good move for him.
Yeah, I agree with Daniel, but there's a flip side to that. Billy Gilmore going out alone is going to give him more playing time, and he's going to become a better player when he comes back. But then, if he comes back and he finds Declan Rice ahead of him in the pecking order, where does that leave him? If he comes back and sees Shumeni ahead of him in the pecking order, where does that put him? Does he then get sent out alone again? Do we sell him? Or are we looking at maybe Kante, signing off in a couple of seasons, and maybe that could be a path for Declan Rice, for Billy Gilmore to get into the team. So it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act, and I agree. I mean, Billy Gilmore going out alone will probably make him a better player, but it also puts Chelsea in an awkward position that they have to address this season. And like I said, the options are quite limited.
I hear you. All right, let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. I want to have a little quick chat about Mason Mount. He's had, ever since he's come into the sort of Chelsea team, when Lampard brought him in, he seems to have sort of stepped up. His first season, he had a very good season, and we thought, can he elevate to another level? I think last season he elevated it another level for me. I think he was very good. I'm going to throw this one on to Daniel, actually. Mason Mount, can he get any better than what he is right now? And I mean in terms of, not because we know he needs to do better on his assist levels, and obviously his goal contributions and stuff like that. But as the individual, the way he has been playing, do you think there's more to come from Mason Mount?
No, Mason Mount has to improve. Anyone who thinks that Mason Mount is the finished article needs to really consider what kind of value or what kind of ceiling you're putting on him. I think Mason Mount has all the tools, and like Johnny says, the minerals to be a top player in this game. I really like him. I just think he needs to put up more numbers. He plays in one of our premier attacking positions. We play with 3 forwards. Three most attacking players in the pitch play in that front 3 positions. He seems to be someone who automatically has a start, so which means he needs to be putting up more numbers. I mean, this year in the Prem, I think he scored about 4 goals. Was it, if I'm not wrong? 4 goals, 4 assists, something like that. It needs to be way more. He needs to be closer to the double digits, in my opinion. I think I'm not asking him to be Lampard. I'm not asking him to get 11 goals, 15 goals, 20 goals. I don't need that. But he needs to be putting up like 9 to 10 goals, 11 goals in that region on a consistent basis. Because even in all competitions, he doesn't put up enough goals. I think in all comps, he got about 6 goals last year. So he's got to put up more numbers. Like, one of the biggest things that we've been arguing about, and that I've been saying is, as much as I want a new striker, and a new striker finishes a lot of the chances that we have as a team, we need to look within. Why is Mount getting 4 goals in all comps, or 4 goals in the Prem? Why is Pulisic getting like 4 goals? Why is Ziyech getting 3 goals? Why is Verna getting 6 goals in the Prem? Why is Kai getting 3 goals in the Prem? Like, these guys need to get more goals. These are our attackers. I even think the fact that Cho has 3, is it 2 goals or something like that, or 3 goals in all comps? Like, without them same amount of minutes is crazy to me. Like, so our attackers need to do more to get higher numbers.
I agree massively. There's nearly 100 of you here right now. Please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to GNA TV. If you're new here as well, smash the bell notification button. That will let you guys know once we're going live as well. We're gonna go to Baggy, but I just want to read out this donation quickly. Thank you, Julius, massively appreciated. We got Mason Mount. I just don't think you understand. He's Thomas Tuchel's man. He's better than Zidane. We've got. Is he singing? Is he singing, Baggy? I'm not.
It's a chant. It's a chant.
Yeah, it's a chant. All right. Sorry, mate. I didn't read the first bit. It's a chant. But yeah, I agree, bro. We've got Mason Mount. Baggy. Mason Mount. What are you expecting from him next season? Are you expecting more? Are you expecting the same sort of level? Like, go on, tell us.
Definitely expecting more. Listen, Mason Mount, I don't think he's happy with the numbers that he's churning out. I agree with Daniel. These numbers that he's churning out are not what he will be setting for himself as a target. I think Mason Mount looks up to Frank Lampard. He wants to emulate the success that Lampard has had, and he's pushing himself to do that. I think the fact that he has some really good players around him, like Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, Teemo Verna, Pulisic, and hopefully Erling Haaland in the next couple of weeks. I think that will only make him a better player. He will learn. He will learn. He will develop, and I think we will be able to. I'm going to be pushing it a little bit, but I think Mason Mount will be one of the Chelsea legends that we'll be looking at in a decade or so, in the same vein that we're looking at Lampard and John Terry and Drogba and others. I think he has that within him. Will he achieve it? Only time will tell, but I think he has that within him.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's so much more to come from Mason Mount, and I am looking massively forward to him and what he can show next season. I agree with Dan. I think he needs to do more in his assists. I think he needs to do more in terms of the goals. I think he's had. I go back to, I think it was the Aston Villa game away, and we were struggling to get in front in the first half, and he had 2 or 3 chances, real chances in front of goal, which he absolutely flopped. And they're the moments where you need him. Like, you think of Frank Lampard, for example. How many chances did that guy need to pull it in the back of the net? Because for me, it was like you give him one little sniff and it lands to him in the box. It's in the back of the net. That's the levels that I want to try and see Mason Mount be. If he's to be, because I think he's got the talent. It's very clear he's got the talent by far. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he performs next season. People, let's try and get to 75 likes. I think we're about 60 at the moment. There's 115 people here at the moment. We appreciate you all here as always. We're going to move on to. Let's move on to. I want to delve into the forward line, and I don't want to talk about any of these. I want to talk about Teemo Verna. I'm gonna go to Dan on this one. Dan, Teemo Verna. Obviously, last season, a lot of people would say he had a very poor season. Some parts of the Chelsea fan base would say he had a very good season, barring the goals. Everything else was very good. What are you expecting from him next season?
I mean, I think Teemo Verna is what he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know why I like him? As much as I criticize him, why I like him is he's got a good mentality. He wants to succeed at Chelsea. He wants to play. Whenever he does come on, he does give 100%. You don't see him. He doesn't hide. You know what? And that's one thing I will rate him for. Like, he doesn't hide from the situation. There are so many things I could say wrong with Teemo Verna at this present moment in time, but he's our player at the end of the day, and I think what he does add to the team helps us a lot. I mean, look, for example, the Champions League final goal doesn't happen without Teemo Verna taking, I think it was John Stones away from the middle. So, or Ruben Diaz, I think it was. But yeah, Teemo Verna has a lot of flaws in his game, but I think he's got a lot of strengths that he provides to our attack. When we play against the likes of Man City and the likes of other teams who play higher lines, Teemo Verna is a very, very useful asset to have. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, look at the strikers we've had of old, like Morata and Falcao and Shevchenko. One of the biggest issues that we had with these guys is they shirked from responsibility. They hid in a lot of games, especially when it wasn't going their way. What I'm expecting, long and short, I would say that I want him to obviously get double-digit goals. I want him to get double-digit goals because if we get a striker, I don't expect him to be our number one goal scorer, and that can allow him to focus on doing other things. Like, let's not get it twisted. Teemo Verna is a threat to other teams because he continues to get chances. It's just about taking his chances. That's the problem. That's the problem we're having. He doesn't take his chances. So I'd rather have the player who still gets them because you know that eventually something should click. And he's still a young player. I mean, he's 24, turning 25. So there's still time. I haven't lost hope in Teemo
yet. Yeah. I know. Obviously, me and you were on the football terrace quite a lot last season, and there was a lot you'd say I was more of the defender when it came to Teemo Verna, and you was more of the the guy that would criticise him a lot and feel a little bit, let down by him, especially in certain games as well. So you're muted, bro.
No, I'm saying I like him, man. I like him. I just think that in crucial moments, if he's the guy that the chance falls to, what's your percentage of him taking that chance?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. He's going to have, if he gets 21 big chances next season, Baggy, and he misses them, I'm not saying he will, but if he does, I think it might be the end of a season for him. I don't think he will recover from that. I think Chelsea will actually look to maybe push him along as well. I mean, what were your thoughts on Teemo Verna as a player? Do you think he's
Well, it depends.
What are you expecting from him? That's what I need to understand.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. I mean, what's our expectations of him? Is he a goal scorer? Is he a creator? Is he someone who's gonna take on players? Is he what's his role? Because when he came in, we were expecting goals from the man. Whether he's on the wing, whether he's down in the centre, we were expecting goals from the man. And the fact that he didn't deliver those goals, a lot of people turned against him. A lot of people started seeing him in a bad light.
Yeah.
Teemo Verna provided a lot this season. He provided a lot in respect to his positioning, chance creation, falling inside the box, getting us penalties. I know a guy was talking about staying on side. I wish he'd done more of that. But generally, Teemo Verna had a positive impact in all the games that he's played. Okay, apart from the fact that he was missing some sitters, which drove a lot of us mad. Okay, his general impact on the season was good. I personally believe that Teemo Verna will have a better impact this season than he did last season for a lot of different factors. The fact that we have fans in the stadium, it's going to boost his confidence. It's going to boost his morale because I think the fans still like him. Generally, Chelsea fans have a high or a good impression of Teemo Verna. Generally, they like him. So they're going to make him feel that initially. And if he can feed on that and can score a few goals early doors, I think we will see Teemo Verna have a much better impact and a much better season. And that's what I'd like to see. But I also agree. 21 chances, if he doesn't bang in at least half of them and get into double figures, it will be a little bit difficult for us to rely on him moving forward, especially when we do have players that can fill that role on the wing. We have Callum, we have Pulisic, so there's players that are challenging for him, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a touch and go with the kind of season he has. I believe he will have a decent season personally.
I hope he has a decent season because I like Teemo Verna. Look, I've never defended him for missing chances. The chances that he missed last season, he should have buried. And if he did, maybe we'd be higher up in the league, maybe more closer to the Man Cities, and we would have got the points that we needed. And, I'm not going to sit there and point and blame it all on Teemo Verna because I don't think it was all him. But this is why Chelsea are looking at a player like Haaland. They want to try and bring someone in that is going to give us that. It's going to give us that comfort of knowing that if we get in them positions where we're against a low block, we find it hard to break them down. If it lands to him, he's going to put it in the back of the net, and that's the most important thing. That's what wins you games. And I think Teemo Verna is going to be important. I actually think you bring someone like Haaland in, it actually allows all the players that we currently have to slot back into their natural positions. Like I feel like Werner will slot in as a second striker. Havertz can actually play off someone, Mason Mount. Like everyone, I feel like at the moment we're sort of creating positions for people because we're struggling, especially in the final third to pull it away. So it's going to be an interesting season for Teemo Verna. I really hope he gets double digits. I think I'm going to say it. I'm confident that I think he can do it, but we'll have to see what happens on that. I want to go on to Callum Hudson-Odoi, and the guy that I want to talk to about Callum Hudson-Odoi is Mr. Daniel Bamiji because I know how much he loves him. I read something the other day. It was in an article, and it was someone was watching Callum Hudson-Odoi behind closed doors in these pre-season games and stuff like that and training, and they said that he looked very sharp and he looked like the Callum Hudson-Odoi before he got injured. Daniel, how important is it that Callum Hudson-Odoi takes his chances when he gets them this season? And do you expect him to get more game time as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one of the biggest things, like the reasons why I kind of was frustrated with Chelsea fans who were getting on to Callum Hudson-Odoi, saying, that means there's something going on within the club. I mean, no, like no one said that. So that doesn't, like, you can't like give someone something that hasn't been said. Like he has an attitude problem or he has a coaching problem or whatnot. Like he had one of the worst injuries in football. That can affect anyone. I mean, when Callum Hudson-Odoi first burst onto the scene, everyone was loving him. We were expecting a lot of things from him, and then he had an unfortunate injury, which maybe took him a while to recover from. But I'm expecting big things from him, man. I really do believe in his talent. Maybe I over believe in him. That's very, very possible. We're all football fans. We all cater or love some players more than others. I just happen to love Cho more than others. I just really like the guy. I really like the way he plays. Fearless, direct, and look. Let's be honest. He saved Lampard a lot of games, and he came on and did a lot of good things for Tuchel as well. So there's obviously a player there. Me personally, I think wherever he is, if it's not Chelsea, he'll be at another club. He will make it as he will make it as a footballer, like in my opinion. And look, Bayern Munich don't just go around saying they want to spend 80 million on a random player. If they're putting 80 million up front, like, we need to really take a look at why we're not getting the best out of this guy. Why is he not an 80 million pound player for us? Do you know what I'm saying? So I think especially with the reports from trusted journalists, spoken to a couple of guys at the club as well. The point is, apparently on the left-hand side, he might be trusted more because he's maybe matured in age. He's had the off season, he's had a pre-season to really develop in that position. Maybe we see him on the left side of an attacking position, which I think could be his best position. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this season for sure.
No, I hear that. So am I. I mean, I've been very, I don't say harsh on him, but I just feel like with Callum Hudson-Odoi, if he's not going to be given the opportunities to progress as an individual, and he has the same problems that he had last season, not getting in the team and stuff, that I think we should look to maybe pass him on. But there's no doubts that he's a great talent. He's a top player, and he has all of it. For me, when I look at Callum Hudson-Odoi, I always think it's on him. Like it's all on him because we know he's got the talent. It's just, can he step up to that next level? And I'm going to go on to Baggy in a second, but please make sure you smash the like button. There's 145 of you here right now. Subscribe to the channel, please, and make sure you subscribe to these guys below as well. You've got Baggy TV, so go and just make sure you subscribe over there to his channel, and make sure you subscribe to Eyes on the Ball TV, which is my guy Daniel's channel as well, guys. It'd be much appreciated. Baggy, I've never asked you about Callum Hudson-Odoi. What's your thoughts on him as a player? Are you a fan of him? Are you not? What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, there's two sides to this player. There's the on the pitch and there's the off the pitch, and I'm going to cover both. On the pitch, he hasn't been utilized in the right way, in my opinion. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi can be more dangerous on the left as a goal-scoring player. I think he probably will score more goals playing on the left. Excuse me, on the left-hand side than Teemo Verna is doing with Chelsea this last season. I think having him on the right and playing him as a right wing-back, which is what Tuchel used him as, is also good for him in regards to his chance creation. But I think predominantly playing him on the left would see him have a better season, a more productive season. I think he has the ability and the potential to be one of the best wingers in the Premier League. I personally rate him to the same standard as Jadon Sancho. I know he hasn't achieved what Jadon Sancho has because he hasn't had the opportunity that Jadon Sancho has. Borussia Dortmund gave Jadon Sancho the opportunity and gave him the time to develop. Chelsea haven't done that with Callum. Yes, he's had injuries, but even when he's been fit, he hasn't been given those opportunities. That's on the pitch. Off the pitch, the man has had issues. The man has had issues with with the law and whatnot. But at the same time, he has done a hell of a lot of work for charity. He has helped a lot of the youngsters coming through and trying to get them on the straight and the narrow. He's also done some work in his. soon to be his motherland, Ghana. He's done a lot of charity work there as well. He's helped out a lot of people there. That isn't spoken about enough, in my opinion. I think people are not speaking enough in regards to the goodwill that a lot of these footballers are doing. Callum being one of them. They're focusing on bad nights, bad days, whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have that. We're human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. But focus on what we're doing, positively, as well as if we don't focus on the negative things, also highlight the positive things that these players are doing. So I think Callum has a good future. I think Callum does need to focus, and it does look like he's doing well in the pre-season. So I'm looking forward to the season coming with Callum.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be something. This is for me. This is make or break for him. He's got to take his chance, and I think Tuchel, as many people have been telling me, is going to give him that opportunity. It's going to be down to him whether he steps up and shows. I think he's great. I think what I like about him is he's direct. We know he can take a player on. Sometimes I think he can be a bit like he'll do the opposite. Like you want him to just use his strengths, and he'll do the easy 1-2 pass and not do that run. And sometimes I want him to just work on that. And he's still very young, and there's an excuse there for that. But he definitely deserves the opportunity. Someone said in the comment now that his stats are on the same levels as some of the best in the league based upon the small minor games that he's played as well. So we'll have to see. But yeah, Callum Hudson-Odoi is an interesting one. I want to move on to Mr. Hakim Ziyech, and I'm going to start with Daniel Hakim Ziyech. Like, he signed last season, and I don't know what you thought or what you expected from him, but I expected a lot of assists. When I looked at what he'd done at Ajax, he was doing bits. He was the top assists there for the last 2 or 3 seasons in the Dutch league. He comes over to the Premier League, and he's not even close to the player he was over there. Do you think that was just purely because he needed a season, or what are you expecting from Hakim Ziyech going into this one?
Same as you. First season, I expected a lot. Really, really watched him. Took a keen eye on him as well in the Ajax Champions League run. He was their star. He was their main guy. Really, really talented individual. But I think the problem I have is that he didn't show that he really wanted it. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't show that he wanted to really take games by the scruff of the neck. Sometimes he looked very disinterested. Maybe had a loose touch here and there. But there is a flip side to it. Dirk Kuyt said it, and that's something that I hold very closely to my chest. He said that players who come from the Eredivisie League need to have a season to adapt. They need 1 year to adapt. You've seen it with Dirk Kuyt himself. You've seen it with Luis Suarez when he came over. We've seen it with a number of guys. Like a lot of the guys who come from the Eredivisie needed a season to adapt to the Premier League. So I'll give him that same kind of grace to adapt as well and really adapt his game so that he can improve, because I think there's a lot of potential there. Remember when I think it was the Burnley game and then the Sheffield United game, we said, people were saying he's better than Bruno Fernandes. People were really getting excited about him because he was looking serious, spraying balls all over the park, looking like a real distributor. And man, he scored some key goals as well for us, but I'm expecting a lot more numbers and big performances from him.
Yeah, I agree. Baggy, what's your thoughts on Hakim Ziyech, mate? What are you expecting from him? Because I feel like with him, he's probably one of the only players that can really create with the ball at his feet, just look up and spray that ball. And sometimes I think we just need that. What are you expecting from him?
I'm a big fan of Hakim Ziyech. I think he has a lot of promise, a lot of potential. I agree with Dan. He hasn't achieved the levels that we would expected of him this season. But I think he has the potential to do that. And a lot of players, even Kai Havertz, Teemo Verna, they haven't really shown what we were thinking or we were hoping to see from them in regards to chances created, chances converted. Hakim Ziyech does take a risk in his passing. He's one of those players that is, susceptible to having a poor pass here and there because he takes that risk. He takes that harder pass, the trickier pass. But that's what you expect from him. So sometimes the figures that we see don't quite reflect his passing ability, because you might see his pass completion rate is not as good as some of the other players, like Jorginho, for example, who takes less risky passing. So it varies. But I believe Hakim Ziyech does have a lot in his locker and will be able to prove himself. And I agree. The Eredivisie is not at the same pace, at the same strength as the Premier League. So a player coming into this league will require some time to adjust and to get a hang of it. And it's a pandemic season. No fans. Players away from their friends and families. So that's also going to have an impact. But I think this season coming is going to be, a crucial season for a lot of these players, because this is the season that we're going to see what they're all about. Hakim Ziyech included.
I agree.
Big up to Julius, by the way.
Yeah, big up to him as well. But mods, if you're in there, just block these guys that are doing stupid things in the chats, if you can, please. Julius, nice seeing you all today. Keep up the great work. Baggy Gem and Dan, big up. I'll see you guys next stream. Thank you for that big donation, bro. Appreciate that hugely here as well. There's nearly 170 of you guys still here, so please make sure you smash the like. Help us get to 1.4K or 1.5K. It would be massively appreciated. Like I keep saying, go and subscribe to Baggy TV, guys. Great Chelsea content over there. And make sure you subscribe to Eyes on the Ball TV as well, which is Daniel's channel as well, please. I think it's going to be a big season for Hakim Ziyech, and I think he's going to need to step up, because I think if he does perform to the levels that he did last season, I don't think Tuchel will care about just leaving him on the bench, and potentially then you might see a Callum Hudson-Odoi play more, or some of the academy players might get an opportunity. He might keep a couple of them on the bench and give them a chance. Like there's that opportunity, isn't there? So it would just be. I mean, how much did we sign him for? I can't even remember. Can you remember? Was it 30 odd mil?
Just under 40. I think it was 30, 38, 37.
Yeah, you spent that kind of money, would still expect some sort of level. And it's not that he's in his peak as well. He should be really be more of the leader out of the players that we've currently got here. Kai Havertz. Yeah, I love this guy. I'll let Dan go on to this one. I mean, Kai Havertz, how important do you think he'll be to Chelsea next season? And do you think he'll get more game time than he did last season? I know he had COVID and he was injured here and there, but do you see him being more of a starter? And do you think he's important to what Tuchel's doing?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. He's going to be. I mean, if we don't get a striker, he's definitely going to be like the main man. He's the guy that everyone believes will come good, talent-wise. He's got it, technique, everything about him. Kai Havertz is just a quality player all around. I think he's got so much tools to him. He's got the ability to finish in the air. He can finish a calm finisher in front of goal. I think what he needs to become more ruthless. If he gets a mean streak, he can get a number of goals next season for sure. Like we saw in a lot of the games that he was playing, we saw he'd always have multiple chances as well. He was bagging a couple braces here and there. Kai Havertz, man, he's a quality player. He's already cemented himself in Chelsea history with the winning goal in the Champions League final. Yeah. Now let's go and make more memories. Do you know what I'm saying? Like this is the best way to start your Chelsea career, regardless of what happened during the season in terms of his numbers. We can give him a bad because of COVID and all of that kind of stuff, but we saw enough glimpses to say this guy is going to be a top player. So. Yeah, man. Enough love to Kai Havertz, man. He's going to be a top quality player.
He's the one player that.
Last thing, I think by the end of this season, we're going to be calling him a world-class player. We're going to be saying he's world-class.
Listen, this for me is not far from. I mean, I actually think he can be generational. I actually think he's got all the abilities. He makes the game look so easy, but he does it at his own speed, and that's something so impressive because it looks like he's slow with the ball when he's not. I mean, the guy's blimmin' quick. Have you seen the guy sprint? He's not slow. He's quick. He can score goals. He's good in the air. He's got a bit of that Balak-esque about him in the box where he arrives in the box late and he gets them headers. I mean, Baggy, out of all the signings last season, was Kai Havertz one of your favourites from what you've seen?
Definitely one of my favourites, and I think we can class him as a legend already. because he scored the Champion League winning goal, man. In years to come, we'll be looking at this game, look at this title. We're gonna be looking at that goal.
Yeah.
Him doing what he's doing. Mason Mount passing that ball in. I think he will be. One of the greats if things pan out. If things work out, because in football, an injury, a managerial change, a little bit of a tiff in the dressing room, and things can go in a different direction. But I think things going on a normal path. I think Kai Havertz has it in his bag to be a Chelsea legend. I think again, with the situation of the pandemic and this season, we didn't see the best of Kai Havertz. I think he has a lot more to show, and this is what's exciting about the season coming, because we still haven't seen the best of our last season signings, and I think this season we'll see that, and the role that he will play, especially if we get a Haaland, a Lukaku, will be even bigger, because they're gonna need someone to back them up. And with Giroud not here anymore, with Tammy Abraham potentially leaving, Kai Havertz is the one that's going to step up and fill that void. I'm dreading the situation where we don't sign a striker, and the whole accountability falls on him. Him and Teemo Verna moving forward. That is something I'm dreading. I don't want to see that happen, because I don't think he's a striker. I think he's a player that can assist, that could be a second striker, but neither him nor Teemo Verna has shown enough to be that out-and-out striker that Chelsea need. And this is why I want to see someone coming in and them having the opportunity to back him up as a second striker.
I agree. I think he's going to be so important next season to what Chelsea are doing, and I think for me, he has to start more games than most for me. I mean, it's going to be interesting, because it is going to really be based upon form, right? So, if Pulisic doesn't play well or start well, or Ziyech then and Kai does, then you expect him to sort of play more games. But we've seen with Tuchel that he likes to rotate. He does really like to rotate and try and give everyone the opportunities needed. People in the chat, someone mentioned about talking about Brozier. I can't find him on here for some weird reason. I don't know why. Because he should be on here. But we could talk about him. Obviously, he signed a new contract with Chelsea. He feels, and I think by the looks of him, he's got that buzz to think that this might be his opportunity in the first team squad. Dan, would you give Brozier a chance as like maybe a third / maybe even a second if we don't sign anyone, sort of striker going into next season?
Yeah, why not? But that's the problem though. Like we shouldn't. Even if Brozier is the third signing, third choice striker, we should have a first choice striker who we know could guarantee us a number of goals. You know what I'm saying? I just have an issue with us relying on what we have now to kind of carry us through goals wise next year, when a lot of other teams are strengthening their attacking departments. Leicester strengthening Patson Daka. They're looking to bring in Edouard as well. Sancho coming in at United, adding to Rashford, Greenwood, Cavani, Amad Diallo. So they got a number of options. Kane, if he goes to Man City, as the reports are suggesting, that adds to a bundle of talent they've got there. So we've got to really look at the teams around us and really realize that they're trying to strengthen, they're trying to dominate, and we got to have the same mentality. We just won the Champions League. We need to act like we were Champions League winners, and why not try and compete for the Champions League again with a top quality striker? So yeah, man, we'll see.
I hear you. Baggy, Brozier, what's your thoughts on him potentially given an opportunity in the first team squad? Are you up for that, or would you look to maybe just loan him out again? What would you do?
No, I would keep him. I would keep him and give him an opportunity, especially in the cups. But I don't think he is there or he's good enough at this point in time to be our main striker. A backup, yes. A player that can come on off the bench, and assist. Someone who can assist in the attacking role. I think with his development and for his development, we should give him a more gradual introduction into the first team. I don't want to see him pushed too quickly to to have a lot of responsibility and accountability on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him broken. I want to see him develop, and I think Borja has has the strength, has the pace, has the finishing to be successful. But let's take it easy with him. Let's not push him too hard, too quick.
Yeah, listen, I agree massively with you as well on that one. People, I put the link in the chat. We're going to bring you on one by one. If you've got a question or you've got something to say, please come and do so. It ain't going to be more of an open one up because it's nearly an hour and a half in. So we'll let you guys come in for 15, 20 minutes. If you've got any questions that you want to talk about, then do so. The link is in the chat now. So make sure to get involved if you'd like to come on. Guys, what would you do going into next season in terms of formation? Do you like the whole three at the back situation? Do you think Tuchel should potentially switch it up, or do you think we can't do that if we do not sign a striker, Daniel?
The striker's everything, man. The striker's what gives us what we need to be successful. I can't lie to you. I want a striker in. I really want a striker. I really want us to get a striker. I think that's very, very important to what we were trying to achieve next season. Do you know what I mean? So that holds the key, man. I think we can't make any predictions till we know what the squad is finalized. Like, I already know. I have two predictions. One, if we get a striker, Haaland or Lukaku, and one if we don't make a signing in the striker department. So yeah, man.
Do you think Tuchel will change much in terms of formation though? Do you think he'll go three at the back? Do you think we can maybe switch it to a four? Do you think the three at the back was just to protect, in many ways, just protect the fact that we weren't scoring as many goals as well? Like, what would you do? Would you just stick to what we did last season, or would you switch it up a bit? He's gone. Oh,
Say that again, sorry.
I said, what would you do in terms of the formation? Obviously, would you stick to the three at the back? Would you switch it up? Would you put four at the back? I mean, what do you think Tuchel should do going into that? Do you think we should switch it depending on the game, who we're up against? If we're up against a low block, would you switch it around? What would you do with the formation going into next season?
Apologies, I'm just having a serious fight with my Wi-Fi right now. But what's it called? I've heard that so Adam Newsom was basically saying how Tuchel's been experimenting with the 4-2-4. That's why we've seen Cho on the left wing. And look, I'm not fussed about the formation we play. If I'm honest with you, like I really believe Tuchel knows what he wants to do. He knows how he wants to set up his team, set up his approach, and he's very pragmatic. Do you know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, man. Like things like the formation. I don't have an ideal formation. I have the ideal formation for me is the formation that wins games. Is the formation that wins football matches. And whatever formation Tuchel believes that's the formation I like the most. You know what I'm saying? I think when the season starts as well, and we see consistency on what formation we might wanna go with, then you can start making a judgment on what you prefer. But yeah, man, I don't have a real preference.
Yeah, no, fair enough, bro. Baggy, what about you, man? Do you think we're going to stick to the same three at the back? What's been successful for Tuchel since he's come in, or what would you do? Would you switch it up? Maybe alternate the formations? What would you do?
I think we'll see some changes happening this season. I think the formation that Tuchel will go with is a three at the back, but he will use other formations within the game and even to start a game. We saw Tuchel mixing and matching the players. He hardly sticks with one lineup for more than 2 games. So he'll be changing things about, and I think to keep it fresh, he'll be doing that. He'll be changing the formation. But again, the players that we have and the players that we keep will determine what kind of formation we'll be using moving forward. And also the type of striker that we're going to be getting. Is it going to be a someone who is more versatile, more quick, more or is it going to be more of a target man type of striker, or is it going to be an Erling Haaland who can do both? So depending on the type of striker we have, it's going to have an impact on the formation that we're going to play. But I think we will see a mix, a mixture of both, especially with the defenders that we have, and also the attackers that we have. Because some of the attackers, if he wants to give them more game time, then he might need to change the 2-4 at the back formation just to allow for that to happen. So, touch and go with the formation. To be honest.
No, I hear you. I do hear you on that. Ashley Lewis says, do you feel like Chelsea need Lukaku if we don't get Haaland, or could we play this season without a forward player? Now, there's been a lot of talks about Lukaku, and I've heard a lot saying that he's done now. He even if Chelsea did come for him on a late bid, there'd be no way in hell that he would leave. And, would you, if you was Lukaku, the fact that Chelsea have wasted this much time on supposedly trying to get their main target, Haaland, across, and if they fail on that, it's like, oh, actually, Lukaku, we wanted you. Do you want to come? I mean, Dan, do you think Lukaku, if we say he got to the last week of the transfer window, we still haven't got a striker, and then you hear Chelsea are trying to sign Lukaku, do you think Lukaku himself would want to come to Chelsea?
I don't know. I think the biggest pull we have is the fact that we're champions of Europe. I think he can see where he'd slot in, come in straight away and start. He'd play all the games. Like, he'd basically play every game of the season. It's a tough one, man. I don't know. Lukaku obviously changed his mind about coming to Chelsea, and we saw in the interview where he said he just felt like people within the hierarchy didn't want him that badly. Like, they didn't really mind not getting him. So, I mean, our hierarchy hasn't changed that much since his Man United move, so it's the same guys there. Whether they want him now, that's another story. He probably knows that Haaland was the main man, so it doesn't. I don't know. I would take Lukaku. Anyone who's saying they won't take Lukaku, I think is silly. I think it's a silly point or a silly argument. I understand that maybe you might think Haaland in the long run is better than Lukaku, but there's no guarantee that we get Haaland next year if we're not able to get him this year. If you can get Lukaku this year, you bring in Lukaku. He's in the prime of his career. He's one of the top 5 strikers in the world, in my opinion. You buy him right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Baggy, would you go for Lukaku as well if it was last week of the transfer window, still ain't got a striker? Do you think Lukaku would be interested in Chelsea?
I don't want to be put in that position. I don't think Chelsea would want to be put in that position last week of the transfer window, having to buy Lukaku, because then they may end up paying more for Lukaku than they would have paid for Haaland. Inter Milan will not let him go for cheap. And in regards to Lukaku as a player, Lukaku is a very, very good player, but he's not worth the price tag that has been put on him. And I think the price tag that has been put on him is purely because the only club that can buy him, if they do buy him, it's because they're desperate to get a striker, and that's what Inter Milan are hoping. Inter Milan are hoping that Haaland to Chelsea doesn't happen, because then they will be able to put that price up as much as they want, and that's my concern. I have no problem with Lukaku signing for Chelsea. I think Lukaku still has a few good years in him. I think he will be a very, very good striker in the Premier League again.
Yeah.
But the price is my issue, and I think Inter Milan are going to make it a little bit difficult.
Hard for him. Yeah, I agree. I actually do. I think when a club knows that you're desperate and they know that you're looking for someone for that position, and you're knocking on their door in the last minute, it's they're going to hold us in many ways to ransom, aren't they? And just say, look, you want him now. He was 100. Actually, we want 130. We will charge you as much as you were going to pay for Haaland, because you were going to pay 150 for Haaland. Well, you put 130 forward and they turn it away. We want you 130. Give me your 130. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Dean saying, what are Chelsea's first 3 games, and do you predict a firing start in the Premier League? I don't know. Who's our first game at home? I forgot. I need to have a look, actually.
Palace again. Arsenal away.
Palace, Arsenal. Do we know the third game, by any chance?
And then the third game is getting it up. Liverpool away.
Well, there you go. Palace, Arsenal, Liverpool. Dan, I'm going to go to you on this one then. Do Chelsea need to win their first 3 games, and do they really need to have like a fiery start? What are you saying?
No, I don't think so. Man City were like 13th. We were top of the league by the first day in December, something like that. After December, we capitulated. So there's no. I don't think gone are the days, in my opinion, where like fast starts necessarily mean that you're going to win the league, because other teams could have fast starts, other teams could catch up. You know what happens in the Premier League. However, starting well will help us in the long run. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
I think we can win those first 2 games and get a draw against Liverpool. I'll be more than happy with that. So, yeah, man, there's no pressure to start fast, especially with everyone coming back from the Euros, the Copa America, the Olympics. There's so much stuff that have been going on. It's going to be another slow start to the season where we won't really know who's competing until we get to about the new year.
Yeah, I hear you. Man, like Winter Surfer is in the house as well. How you doing, Winter Surfer, bro? You got a haircut?
Yes. The
It's
trim's
decent,
in.
mate.
New
Nice little
season's
trim there.
coming. Yeah.
Suits you, man.
I'm bored, man. Saturday's been bored.
Tell me about it. People, there's 150 of you still here. Smash the like button, subscribe. I think we're 9 away from 1.4k. So there's 149 of you here. I'm sure there's a couple of new people here. Please subscribe. Help us get to 1.4k subscribers. Winter Surfer. We were talking about Tuchel and Chelsea going into this season, and the big question was, if we do not sign anyone, which is I still think is a big if, but if we do not end up signing anyone with the current squad that we got, can we still compete on all 4 levels going into next season?
I don't think we'll do a title challenge. I think we'll do a top 4. I'd hope to secure top 4 before the end of the last day of the season.
Yeah,
that's okay with them. Because the last 2 seasons we've had to wait till the last day of the season. I think if we don't get a striker like a Haaland or Lukaku, I think the team's built for cup competitions.
Yeah.
Than it is for like a long title challenge. I just don't see it because we're not clinical enough. We're just simply not clinical enough. We might be good defensively, but I just don't think we are that clinical to finish off teams to get us a draw or to get us 3 points at the moment. And this is what I'm talking about right now, July 24th. So I have the right. I've reserved my right to change my mind if I see something different. Like if I see Verna suddenly hit every shot into the goal that he suddenly hits, then I might revise this statement right here. But as we are comprised right now, and what we did last season, I just don't think we are built to win this league. And some people may say, "Oh yeah, but Man City don't have a striker." That's true, but I think they're better at it than they're more clinical than we are without a striker.
I agree.
And as of July 24th, they don't have a striker, but we don't know what's going to happen next week.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So I'm reserved. My statement is penciled in, and it's not permanent ink. Yeah. So yeah. I reserve.
If they get Harry Kane, we're in trouble, lads.
Yeah. If they get Harry Kane and we don't get anyone, then you might as well just gift wrap them the league from day one, essentially. Because I don't care what anyone says about his injury record, which I think is a big fallacy, and I think that's a false statement.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Just be wrapped up, even if they don't sign Grealish. If they sign Harry Kane, it's done, and we don't sign anyone.
Yeah, and this is why it's so important. But a signing of Harry Kane might sort of, like I keep saying, elevate other clubs to act. So Chelsea, for example, might then go, right, crap, 150, Haaland, there you go, we want him. Do you know what I mean? Or vice versa. Chelsea might get Haaland next week. Before Man City get Kane, and then Man City is sitting there going, shit, we need to get fucking Harry Kane. Just pay the fucking money. So I'm waiting for that. I really am waiting for that to see how the market reacts. It could be one of the most craziest transfer windows especially at the latter end of it, where you just see so many mad things going on. But people, before we move forward, I put the link in the chat for Baggy's channel, Baggy TV. So make sure you click that, go and subscribe to that as well. I'm going to put Eyes on the Ball TV's link in the chat as well. Make sure you click that, go and subscribe. There's still 150 of you here. I'm going to put KH No Filters channel in there as well. All Chelsea channels, man. There's 100 and what of you here. You're all Chelsea fans. Go and subscribe to these guys as well. And we move on from that. I want to just, we're going to finish off soon. We're going to finish off in about 5-10 minutes, but I wanted to just talk about one more thing. The players that are still within the squad that have come back in, the Loftus-Cheeks, the Barkleys, the Masondas, Who else have we got back? That's Bakayoko's. Yeah, all these individuals. Yeah. Who? Kennedy. Yeah, I forgot about Kennedy. Even Kennedy was blooming training, wasn't he, this morning?
I couldn't believe that, man. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went, who? Oh, no, I thought he was visiting or something. I didn't realise he was still playing.
It's a holiday in London, man.
Yeah. How many of them do you think will be loaned out or sold, and on what ones do you think will potentially have an opportunity of staying? Daniel, out of the ones that are currently come back, who do you think will have an opportunity of potentially still impressing Tuchel and staying on?
Loftus Cheek only. The rest need to get sold. Dead wood, dead rubber. They are the last little bits of logs to make sure the player keeps going. You sell them with immediate effect, really and truly. That's why Kennedy, Bakayoko, Drink Water, Barkley, Deadwood, man. They're not good enough.
Who we got? We've got Alonso, who could. Well, actually, I mean, he's here, isn't he? Actually, so we can't really say that. I'm trying to think of people that have just come in. Baba Rahman, this guy this guy right here is making a living off us. You know how much wages he's taking a week off Chelsea? 95 grand. This guy's taking 95 grand a week, guys, and he doesn't even play for us. Like, are they taking the piss right now? Big up to Bobby.
He hasn't even. I don't think he spent a season with us.
Was it 15, 16, wasn't it? Didn't he spend all the season?
Has he played the first team game?
I think he played a couple in 15.
No, he has. He's definitely played. Definitely
15,
played.
16, and then he's been on like a 5-year exodus, you know what
I mean? Yeah. Big up to Bobby, who's just put a donation in. Says, hey, Jim, big up GNA's. Big up to you, Bobby, as well. Hope you're well, my bro. Yeah, so you've got them. I mean, Bubba Rahman has to go. What about the Zappa-Costas and, I mean, Miazga? What a waste of money he was. I know he went in for a lot, but and Sarr. I mean, surely them three have got to go as well. Well, maybe not Malang Sarr, but two.
Yeah, there was a report last week, or maybe even the last couple of weeks, after we sold Gerhi, that the reason Gerhi went was because he liked the look of Malang Sarr in training, everything like that. I think it all depends as well. If Rudiger doesn't sign a new contract, then I can see Rudiger leaving, or them trying to sell Rudiger as well. He's only got 1 year left in his contract. So I think Malang Sarr might actually stay, but Zappa-Costa has to go. There's no future for him here. And Miazga, I mean, I don't even know what. I've never heard of Miazga until we bought him. I don't even know.
Why did we buy him?
First time I've seen the lad.
Like, I don't get what the point was of that. We bought him in and he went on, I think he went on loan straight away, didn't he? If I'm right.
Exactly. He's never played. He's never played. Never ever played this.
It never made no sense. But people, the links are for all three of their channels are in the chat now, yeah? So make sure you go and click on them and come back after.
What's your thoughts on Ampadu?
Where's he? Ampadu. Where is Ampadu?
Yeah. I think he goes out on loan again. I don't think he stays.
But could he be a fallback option in case we don't get a DM?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, forget the fullback option. What about filling in as like a backup central midfielder, like the fourth option? I mean,
that's what I meant.
You said that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right, okay. I would, if we ain't going to spend the money. Like, why not? Like, he's at least. Sometimes I think we should just.
He's better than Bakayoko. He's better than Bakayoko.
Well, you said you wanted Bakayoko, Maggie, earlier, you know. So
oh my
God! Me and Dan were sitting there like, "Hey,
Baggy,
what's going on here?"
I fell for Bakayoko hype when we signed him. Okay, don't do it, Baggy. You'll disappoint you. The only good thing about him is his song. Do you know what I said? Do you
know what I said, Winter Surfer? I said with Bakayoko, I think it will be more of a disrespect that we allow him to wear that kit again after the embarrassing performances that he put in the first time. Like, I don't like that guy. Honestly, that's the one player I can't stand him. I actually honestly can't stand him. He's a disappointment, and I'd rather have Ampadu over him any day. What about Andrew? Do you think he's going to get opportunities or not?
I don't know. Tuchel added him to the squad when he came. Oh, he's already in, but he seemed to add in more to the squad, have him with the first training with the first team. He's got a lot of people ahead of him. That's the issue. He might serve well to actually go out on loan, just to give him the minutes, give him the experience. Because unless and hope it doesn't happen, unless there's a massive injury crisis at the club, I don't see how he gets into the Premier League or Champions League starting 11. You might see him in the cups.
Yeah,
I just don't see how he starts ahead, like how he gets the games. And training's good and everything, but it's just training, isn't it? You don't go really full tilt during the season in training. It's just to keep your fitness up. So,
well, he's still young, isn't he? That's the only thing I would say.
Yeah.
There's no harm of him being around and being given the opportunity. I think he's quite a good talent, to be honest, from what I've seen of him. And I think we need to sometimes hold on to them rather than just keep passing them on. You know what I mean? But C1 London saying, "Hey, Teemo," I ain't even singing it. I ain't even entertaining it. He's there. Look, Bakayoko. How much can we get for him? Does anyone know how much we can get for Teemu Bakayoko if we sold
15 million euros apparently, and Milan I think are stuck at 10 or something. So we'll probably split the difference and sell him for 12.5 or something.
Have him for a fiver.
Yeah,
have him for a fiver. Or a fish and
chips. He's wearing the old shirt. He's wearing the old shirt, Jim.
Yeah, exactly. So. He's not in this year's kit.
He's wearing the old shirt, isn't he? That says it all. Believe me now.
Exactly.
Let's get him off the pit. Let's get
him off.
What about this guy? All right, drink water.
These three. Oh, drink water. Oh my God.
What about these three? I mean, any of these three, Daniel, or any of these three got a chance, bro? Lewis Baker, Ross Barkley, and Danny the drink the blimmin' water. Have they got any chances?
I think I've got more chance of starting in the midfield than them three, like 100%.
If you put a picture of me, Daniel, if you put a picture of me, up there, we stand more of a chance getting in.
Yeah, man, 100%. I mean, Lewis Baker was someone I've liked, but he just never got a chance, and I just don't understand why. But hey, it is what it is. Danny Drinkwater was a panic buyer. He never needed it in the first place, and Ross Barkley just never lived up to expectation, and yeah.
But he's having a good preseason though.
Oh God,
he's world class. He's a world class.
But he's a deceiver. How many times have I said this?
He's world class in preseason. He's world class in preseason.
Daggy, he is the biggest deceiver of a footballer I've ever seen. I call him the deceiver because literally he will be good one game, the next minute he will be and he will just drop a stinker, and you'll be like, is he even playing?
He can't handle playing. He can't handle playing for.
Let's just hope Tuchel doesn't fall for him.
Yeah, he can't handle playing for a big club. He has 6 good games in a run. That's it, and then he doesn't do anything.
What about this guy here, Ruben? Is it? Look, I'm going to ask you this actually. He's what, 27? I think it is now. Obviously,
no, 25 or 26, isn't he?
All right, fine. He's getting on, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is there any hope for Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Because before his injury, I thought, wow, what a player! This guy is really going to be the one. Like I thought he was that good, and then he had that injury, came back, and I don't know if it's a mentality thing. He's struggling. Like, what do you do with him? Like, do we just accept that he's not going to be the Ruben Loftus-Cheek that he was before, or do we give him the opportunity, Baggy? What would you do?
Squad player. I'd keep him as a squad player. I would give him an opportunity. I would have him with Chelsea, with the first team. I think sending him out alone will give bad signals in regards to his future. I think keeping him with the first team is the way to go. We do need to have some depth in our squad, and I think a player like Loftus-Cheek would add that.
Yeah, I hear that. Dan, do you agree with the Ruben sting? Do you think he deserves to be given another go, or do you think we should just wash our hands with him and give up? What do you do?
No, we spoke about it earlier, man. I think he should be given another chance. I like him, man. Again, someone who had an Achilles injury, a very, very bad injury. We haven't been able to see the best of him since the Sarri season, where he got injured in a friendly that just didn't even need to be played. Do you know what I mean? Which has robbed him of about 2 years of his career. So, yeah, man, I wouldn't wash my hands off him. I'd still keep him and see what he's about.
Fair enough. What about Bambi and Ice, Andrew? Is he actually going to leave, or do you think there's a good chance that he might still be a Chelsea player going into next season?
I think you're right in terms of I don't think it's smart how much I criticise him and how much others criticise him. It makes no sense for us to get rid of him.
This is a good goal.
we have. Yeah, that was a great goal. I mean, he just ripped them to shreds. But remember that was his 7 goals in 3 games. But nothing after that. But it makes no sense. It makes no logical sense for us to sell him if we don't have a striker there. No matter how much I criticise him, it just doesn't make sense for us to do that. But if it's Arsenal, I'm alright selling for 40 million. But if it's Arsenal, I want to add the bang on an extra 20 just because it's Arsenal. And I don't want no loan business. I don't want a loan business. If he's going, he has to go. He's only got 2 years left. So he needs to go for himself as well. I think. Yeah. I think he needs to go. He needs to get away from us because I think the bulk of the support, unless we see improvement in him, and that's on him to do so as well, we are not going to be comfortable or accepting of him as our leading striker. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I hear that.
And let me ask you a question, Jem. Jem, and guys.
Yeah.
If Tammy Abraham never played for Chelsea, would you want or rate him? Sorry, let me change that. Would you want him at your club? If you were linked with
him? No, is the answer to that.
That's what I mean. So it comes from an emotional standpoint because he's played for our club.
It's
so
true.
People, you know what I mean? If you really deep it, you wouldn't.
We've got a lot of emotional attachments, mate.
Exactly, and that's the problem.
But exactly. Andrew, the thing is this. The situation we're in today, we need to have him in the club unless we secure a striker.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not happy with his level. No way am I happy with his level. But the situation we're in, we're forced to accept him if we don't get a striker. If we don't get a striker, I don't want to see him being sold. Even if he doesn't want to sign an extension to his contract or have talks about that, keep him. I'll let his contract run out, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get rid of the only striker that I have on my team unless I have a replacement coming in. Exactly. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree massively with that as well. We're going to finish off with these 3: Charlie Musonda, Michy Batshuayi, and Kennedy. Has any of them got any hope of? I mean, Musonda maybe. I mean, he's got COVID, hasn't he? From what I've heard today as well.
He can't catch a break, this guy, man. He can't.
Can he? I mean, Kennedy, does he get a chance? I don't know. I don't think so. No. Batshuayi is definitely no, isn't it? He's got to be gone.
Yeah. There's interest in Kennedy in Brazil right now, so let that happen and let him go.
I agree. Do you agree, Dan? Any of them 3 got a chance, or just get rid of them all? What do you do?
No, Musonda. It's tough, man. It's going to be tough. Obviously, I would like Musonda to be a part of the squad. Apparently, he's shown good stuff in training, but I just think with the attacking players that we have, it's just unfortunate that this is the best attacking group of talent we've had in a while, and Musonda would he make the squad? I don't think he would, innit? So I think we should sell. I think he has the best chance out of all 3 of them, anyway. At least
he's proper beefed up, isn't he? He's proper gymmed up now, isn't he? I remember when he was a little skinny youngster, and all of a sudden now he's like this living pumped up new Traore. He's going on that way, isn't he? We need to fix him soon, So yeah, I agree as well. I think he's a good player, but obviously I haven't seen enough of him. He's been out with that long-term injury as well. Is he going to come back and be effective? We'll have to see. But yeah, guys, let's do 150 of you guys here right now. Again, we massively appreciate the support tonight. A little bit of a random stream always ends up being a good one, doesn't it? At the end of the day, so I was put it out I think I put it out at 9 o'clock, and then half hour later I thought, you know what, we'll just go live. It's just one of them ones, Baggy. It's like last minute. It's like, yeah, we'll just do it. And it's been great. It's been a great debate. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, guys. Smash that like button. Hit the bell notification as well. We've managed to hit 1.4K, so we've picked up 30 subscribers on one stream. So that's pretty impressive. Thank you very much for helping us get to the 1.4 mark. The next mark is 1.5 for us. Like I said to you, go and follow Eyes on the Ball TV, which is Daniel's channel. I've already put it in the chat for you guys. Baggy TV, it's right there in his name, Baggy TV. Just going right in after we finish off the stream here as well. And check him out. He's doing bits over there as well. And you find me over there. You find me on all of their channels, to be honest. And then also you've got Mr. KH No Filter, Mr. Winter Surfer running things over there as well.
You'll find me on nearly every stream as well.
find him on every stream as well. We're all supporting of each other, and it's good. It's good. We're not, like I said, we're not the biggest of platforms. Like obviously, Baggy's a good size, but we're not the biggest of platforms. But we enjoy it. We enjoy
we're
mixing
doing our
and
own thing. We're doing
our own things and stuff. And that's what it's about. So
Exactly.
you fixed your
Yeah,
Wi-Fi, Jim. Oh, here he is. Here he is.
I've seen quite a few names in the chat from Baggy TV. So
Nice.
so the guys from Baggy TV, if you're in here and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Because this channel is growing, and this channel is is pumping out some good content. So make sure you guys subscribe to everyone in the panel here. Appreciate
it, bro.
Cheers,
it.
Ben.
Sonny, the Liverpool deluded fan who thinks was his name Nate Phillips is better than who is it? He said he's better. He's as good as Harry Maguire, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. That was the one, man. Yeah, he's in the chat as well. Man's took his crazy pill as always, but yeah, go and check that out. Make sure you check the Football Terrace out as well. Football Terrace, go and follow us over there as well. Me and Dan are always on there. Winter Surfer always makes an appearance as well. So yeah, make sure you do that. And guys, thank you very much for all coming on. It's nearly been 2 hours. We appreciate you as always at GNA TV. And we'll see you again all really, really soon. Take care and have a good night. See you later. Peace.
Peace out.
VIP, still key, like bando, bitch, oh please, yeah. Brand new whip, no keys, yeah. Get down on knees, yeah, yeah.